Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear student, Assalamu alaikum. I hope that you would be doing good. So today we are going to study the last lecture from the compilation of Hadis, and today's lecture is lecture number 9. And we are going to study about the third phase of compilation, that is known as successor of successor. This era belongs to those people who sought the successor, who had the privilege to meet with the successor. Got it? So basically this era is consist of from 200 AH to 290 AH roundabout. So whatever I'm giving you the exact dates or year number, it's not a finalized, actually it's just the you can say estimated era where actually this time took place start. So this is the most important phase of the hadith as far as compilation of hadith is concerned. Why? Because this is given a specific name by the Islamic scholars, Muslim scholars, as the golden era of hadith. Okay, why this is being given golden era of hadith? Because of some many important and logical reasons. This is this time is given as named as golden era of hadith, because in this era the most widely ranged books in our library in modern days are from that era, number one. And number two, that era actually is also known as golden era because a hundred of scholars of Islam, they started to devoted themselves towards the compilation of the hadith. And last but not least, the most importantly, some specific steps was taken towards the compilation of a hadith. I'm going to explain this later. So mean that actually the books compiled in that era are the milestone in modern era, in modern time. Reason why this time is known as golden era of Islam, why this is the most important time of Islamic ideology. So we have studied that actually book and in the book which was compiled in the second phase of compilation has mixed type of hadith. Got it? Authentic and less authentic. That it was a privilege. The people used to of second phase, they used to think that actually it's a privilege for us to compile, to write down the hadith of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Got it? So that is why they did not bother to make any category, they did not bother to make set any standard. So that is why hadiths were authentic, were mixed up over there. Got it? They are known as authentic or less authentic hadiths. So that is why it is known as the most important part of Islamic era. Less authentic. The hadiths were mixed. No rules, no checks, no criteria was there in order to check whether hadith is authentic or not, whether hadith is fabricated or weak hadith over there. So that is why this was the situation of hadith at that time. So idea came forward in the mind of the scholars of the third phase of compilation that we are supposed to do something, okay, in order to classify the hadith. Okay, what are the features of the third phase successor of successor? So the scholars of Islam, the scholars of hadith of that time, they made some rules, checks and criteria to clarify the hadith, whether this hadith is authentic, whether this hadith is approved, weak or fabricated. So that is why this is the most important step which was taken at that time. Okay, by using this this technique, rules, checks and criteria, they divided hadith into different parts. And we have studied earlier that hadith has 4 major types. Okay, this is the first point. And secondly, all books which was compiled during that era, during that times, are the musannaf types of books. All musannaf type of books were written in this phase, in this time. Prominent scholar compiled the ahadith. Okay, this is the third feature. The second feature is all musannaf type of books. We have studied earlier in the first phase, after the time of companion, In the second phase, different books were compiled, Musnad and Musannaf. We have discussed in detail in a specific lecture in the previous stage. If you want to know about what is Musnad and Musannaf, you can go back, you can check that lecture, you can listen to that lecture in detail. So books were over there, but this criteria is but this time is known as golden era. So all musannaf type of books being compiled in that time, because up to that moment people came to know that actually the musannaf books are more beneficial than the musnad types of books, so they started to focus on this part. And thirdly, the last feature of this time is prominent scholars of Islam, they came forward. The prominent scholar of Islam, they came in the in this category. There they started to compile the hadith, and those scholars of Islam, those scholars of hadith played a vital role for the rest of the time, because whatever they did over there, we can't forget them, we can't put them aside. Got it? So now let's start studying about some example. Okay, the first, the most important books which was compiled during that time was Sahih Bukhari. It was of Imam Bukhari, and Imam Bukhari, he was born in 194 AH and he died in 256 AH. So this is the most important book. The complete name of the Sahih Bukhari is known as that he is the person who did this, Imam Bukhari. So his book is named against his name. His name was Muhammad bin Ismail Bukhari. He was from Bukhara. So that is why he's given this name. Got it? So he was the first to get idea to compile the authentic hadith. He had a dream in the night, and because of this he got motivated and he started to compile the hadith. Then he made some rules and checks. We have studied in the different types of hadith, authentic and Hassan and approved, and we can fabricate it. So all rules were made by him. So he started to compile the hadith. So he set a milestone for the rest of the people, for the coming scholar, to compile hadith into a proper way. Then comes the Sahih Muslim. Okay, Imam Muslim was the second to compile the authentic hadith. He was born in 202 AH and he died in 261 AH. So this is how he did something extraordinary thing for the sake of Islam. Basically, he was a student of Imam Bukhari. He also compiled a book known as Sahih Muslim. So these two books, they are known as two Sahihs, two authentic books, and both follow the same criteria, same rules in order to compile the hadith into a book form. Got it? Then comes the Sunan Abu Dawud. So Imam Abu Dawud also compiled a hadith. He born to 102 AH and died in 275 AH. So he also compiled a book which actually comprised of Sunan, the actions of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. And then comes the Jami of Tirmidhi. He died in 267 AH. Then comes the Sunan Nisai. He born in 215 AH and died 303 AH. Then comes the Sunan of Ibn Majah. He born in 202 AH while he died in 273 AH. All these 6 books are known as the 6 authentic books of hadith. Got it? But the first two, Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslims, they are the most authentic book. They are known as two Sahih hands. They got the famous place, they got the most important place in the history of Islam. So my dear students, you can know, you can understand actually the third phase. Because of this third phase of compilation is known as the golden age, where everything was compiled in a proper way. So tomorrow inshallah we are going to study next lecture. Until then, Allah Hafiz.